fundamental law of recognition too.
That I have with you, I was discussing with you finding opportunity pathways. And I told you about the fundamental law of recognition. And I said, what you are able to recognize as the pathway for opportunities for success around you in your environment, they are basically pathway that already synchronizes with the image of that process that you already have existing in your mind, which basically means that you have the image and that the impression of that in your mind. You can describe it fully. When you now see that in your environment, there is now the law of correspondence, the law of correspondence. The physical thing you are seeing in your environment as a pathway to success basically coincides with the image that you have in your mind. And when that happens, you are able to recognize that this is the pathway for success. It's a pathway for success. But even if that thing is existing in the physical form as a pathway for success in your environment, but you do not have the thought equivalence of that thing in form of your ability to fully describe that thing as an image in your mind, you will not be able to recognize that as a pathway for success. And today, people in the third world or people in developing countries, a lot of them have this impression that their shortest pathway to economic success, financial success, is in the developed countries. So a lot of them make effort to travel out, and when they are traveling out, they are not traveling out to fellow third world countries like Nigeria. They are basically traveling out to developed countries. So a lot of people in developing countries struggle to relocate to countries like Canada, United Kingdom, United States of America, Norway, Germany, and a lot of them actually travel to this country and in a very short time. A lot of them need success, especially those of them that have skilled, those of them that are skilled in a particular area. But do you know that is this? How come Indians understand that a pathway for them to become millionaires and actually enjoy their money is in developing countries? How? Because I read of a documentary sometimes past where these Indian people has a cassava processing plant, processing cassava to garri around maybe in the southwest part of Nigeria. And this is actually the largest cassava processing garri. This is actually the largest cassava processing industry in Africa. And they have it in Nigeria. And one of the things they said, that it is in Nigeria, they have noticed that in Nigeria, you will make the money and you also have the time to enjoy the money. But they said in UK, they can make the money, but they do not have also the same time to enjoy the money. So the question I want to ask you, I hope you understand this line of thought. And according to statistics, majority of Indians living in Nigeria, in Lagos, are millionaires, and they live in the best part of Lagos. How come those Indians understand that the pathway for them to live in abundance is basically Nigeria, in developing countries? But Nigerians, on the other hand, think that the pathway to making money is for them to go to developed countries. It is basically illustrations of the law of recognition. Those people are coming to Nigeria and they can recognize it. But Nigerians cannot recognize it. Which basically means that a person whose mind does not have the equivalent pathway for that success in his mind, even if that thing is staring at him in his face, he does not recognize it. But the person that has that thing fully formed in his mind, when it comes to that environment, he can see the opportunity pathways. In fact, somebody said to me, so to speak, I try to paraphrase now, that they can see money walking on the streets of Lagos. But the Lagosians do not see. A lot of them, some Lagosians, they are trained that you wake up in the morning by 5 a.m., you get to the bus stop, by 5:30, you go to the work, you come back. That is what they have as fully formed impression in their mind. And that is the only possibility pathway for them to actually arrive at there. But the Indians know that the pathway to success in Nigeria is what is called FCMG, fast moving consumable goods. And that is why you have a lot of Indians. Nigeria has a population of 200 million. Logically, if you are into FCMG, fast moving, FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, there is no way you not become another people in Nigeria. That's why companies like Indomie, you have the Indians there. Companies that are selling biscuits. One of my friends, so to speak, the company was working before. The people that bought them are Indian. What are they making there? Biscuits and chocolate. And in no time, they are making multiple millions. So they understand and they can literally tell you that they can see money working on the street of Lagos. Where is this money? Fast moving. A lot of the Oceans and the train can wake up 5:30, 5 o'clock, very close up at 5:30, we go to the work, we stay in Victoria Island, we go to traffic, we come back to traffic. Even if this thing I'm telling you to this, then I'm telling you to 50. There's one woman that was told, the woman don't build the house at the place in Ocean there. What she sells is gallon. She's a massive distributor of gallon. So that is the basic thing. They have that image fully formed on their inside. They came to Nigeria, they saw it. And the same thing you see around you. You go around you, you see the same thing replicated elsewhere. So the question I'm asking you today, what is the image that has been formed inside of you about your pathway for success? The path you are walking in now is the only one you are convinced that can walk. So except that thought has entered into you, you may be looking at it in your environment and you not recognize it. So I pray, just like when Jesus was walking on the way of Emmaus and he was talking to disciples and he did not recognize that the people they were talking about or the person they were talking about is the same person walking with them. But suddenly they said it came to a time and their eyes became opened and they recognized that it was him. And he had been walking with them all along. But Jesus first showed them. He showed them from the scriptures. And after some time, he said that they came to the understanding. This basically means he first filled them with the thoughts. When they became saturated in the thought, they came to that place in which their eyes were opened. And they could see, they could recognize that it was him. There are many massive opportunities for success walking around you. But you must have the mind. You must first have it, your thought, fully saturated in you. Otherwise, just as he said, what you are looking for in Sokoto is already in your Sokoto. That is the best way I think I can round up this discussion about the law of recognition, finding opportunity pathways. What you are looking for in Sokoto is already in your Sokoto. And I must tell you this, one of the places that is pregnant for opportunities, I've told you about the FMCG. Another one pregnant with opportunities is in the agricultural sector. And you have a lot of Chinese in Nigeria in agriculture and solar. You have a lot of them there. My friend, open your eyes and you see it. All right. So we get to talk more of this on another time.